How's it going? How is it going? So we're going to be talking about how to have healthy uterine lining, how to support healthy uterine lining. And I feel like this is a topic that is kind of one of those ones that kind of gets ignored. There's so many things going on in a monthly cycle that I obviously am not expecting you guys to keep track of every little thing and making sure you're supporting everything. But I wanted to talk about this topic today because I think it's one of those missing links, kind of one of those missing pieces. So any of those of you who had kind of, I can't talk, any of those of you who have kind of been put in the, unexplained infertility bucket, any of those of you who are preparing and really active in helping to support your fertility, I think this topic is for you. It's going to help everyone. So hello, nice to see you guys. Hello. So my name is Heather Rodriguez. I'm an herbalist and nutritionist. I'm a natural fertility specialist, but mostly I'm actually extremely excited and focused on helping to empower you to help support your health in fertility, pregnancy, and beyond in so many different ways. So what we're going to talk about, though, is uterine lining. We're going to get super specific. Okay, so there's a couple different elements. I keep on kicking my desk. There's a couple different elements to supporting healthy uterine lining. So the first is going to be estrogen. During the first half of your cycle, when your period starts, is the beginning of your cycle, and your body is shedding your uterine lining that was from the previous month if you did not get pregnant. So when you are in your period, your uterus is shedding and your estrogen is slowly starting to climb up and to increase. When your estrogen increases, that is part of what stimulates the uterine lining to grow. And that will also help to start preparing your body for ovulation and the follicles maturing, all of those different things. It's helping that whole process to happen. So your uterine lining is being stimulated to grow up until the point that you ovulate. Once you ovulate, if you have ovulated, then you will have a corpus luteum, which will start to secrete progesterone, and then your body shifts. Your estrogen is still there, but the progesterone is now starting to maintain the uterine lining that was grown, that was stimulated to grow. So there's actually a window where your uterine lining is growing, and then there's a window when it is being maintained by the progesterone that your body is producing or not producing. So here are some ways that you can help support that uterine lining, and it's all the things I talk about. So let me just plug my phone in. So when I talk about like nutrition, when I talk about these different things, that is what is happening. One of the many things that is benefiting within your body is going to be helping to build that uterine lining. So you have to understand your body is using materials that are coming in from your diet to help and build that lining. So when you have a period, you can see how much tissue is coming out, how much blood, how much different things were created in that cycle to build that uterine lining. It is also where the beautiful, miraculous embryo will implant and begin to grow. So it's very important to have health, to be very healthy in preparation for conception, because this is one of the areas it's going to support. So the first area, estrogen. So having healthy estrogen levels. If your estrogen is too low, then there could possibly be a thin uterine lining. If your estrogen is too high, uterine lining might be on the thicker side. So having healthy estrogen levels, there's a lot of different ways that you can maintain that and work towards that. Reach out if you want support in that area, but I've talked about it many different times. The next is going to be circulation. I talk about self-care and circulation being important because things such as like self-fertility massage, castor oil packs, having exercise, drinking plenty of water, all of those help to increase circulation. And that is actually a really important aspect to building up the uterine lining. Another is protein, eating plenty of protein in your diet. I think a lot of people don't eat enough protein. They're just not aware how much protein you're getting every meal. It's kind of funny because like if anyone here has ever gone vegetarian or vegan, the first thing people say to you is like, are you going to get enough protein? But I actually want to say that to anyone. Are you getting enough protein? How much protein are you eating in a day? And I'm not saying like you have to eat as much protein as if you're a bodybuilder, but if you kind of think about it, you are about to build a body. You are about to build a whole human being. And this is the first layer in that whole process. So an easy thing to do is just make sure you're eating something that contains protein in every single meal. It doesn't have to be complicated, but just being aware of like, yes, my breakfast contained protein, or yes, my snack contained protein, and so on. This also lends itself to healthy blood sugar balance and things like that. So it's just kind of overall, but just know that protein is great. Amino acids are great for building things, is the basics of that. And then the next is going to be nutrients. So really making sure you're getting lots of nutrients in your diet. Some specific nutrients are going to be making sure you're getting enough iron. Iron is used in the production of blood. And also I love antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds and superfoods for this. So flooding the body with nutrients. One of the things I love to use for this is wolfberry juice. It's just super nutrient dense, very easy. You just drink it. And I've just seen really great results when you have really nutrient dense foods that you're eating on a daily basis. So those are some of my top tips for having healthy uterine lining. Now, again, I'm not asking you to become obsessed about your uterine lining. This is something that's happening on a monthly basis, but it's one of the kind of really important aspects to healthy fertility is going to be the health of your uterine lining. Now, how to know kind of where you are at with your uterine lining. You know, some women come to me because they've actually had an ultrasound and they have physically seen and been told by their practitioner where their uterine lining is. But you can tell a lot about that by your period. So for instance, if you're spotting before your period, that's telling you your uterine lining is starting to shed early. If you're spotting around ovulation, you know, that could be saying something about estrogen levels as you transition to progesterone. Not always, but your body is constantly speaking to you and showing you where your health is, where your balance is at. If your period is very, very heavy, very clotty, very dark, that's telling you something about your uterine lining. If it's very faint, light, your period is very short, that's telling you you might be on the lighter side with that uterine lining. So if you just start listening to your body, it is telling you things all of the time. So that will help to show you. So as you take these different steps, if you are, you know, okay, I feel like focusing on my uterine lining specifically this month and seeing what I can do. The good thing is you can have an impact on it month to month, based on your nutritional status. So you'll be able to tell by next cycle kind of what's going on, unless it's hormonally based. That does take a little bit longer, a little bit more time. But by increasing circulation, by doing those different things to help yourself, by eating higher protein, especially during the first 2 weeks of your cycle, and then flooding your body with the nutrients. Another way to make sure you're getting plenty of nutrients is focusing on the important 5. Those are going to be waking up, drinking a quart of water with lemon. I'm going to go through these super fast. That's why I'm talking so fast. The second is to have a smoothie that has nutrient-dense, antioxidant-rich, anti-inflammatory, rich berries in it. You don't have to go overboard on the fruit, but just the most nutrient-dense type fruits you can put in there. Put it with protein, put it with essential fatty acids, all that other stuff. The third is to make sure you're eating a huge raw salad. You can put protein on that. You can put beans, carbohydrates, other things, but have the base of that salad be raw vegetables. The fourth is to eat a dark leafy green vegetable. This can be cooked, make it a side dish as part of a meal. And the third is to be juicing every day, juicing vegetables every day, or having a greens powder, and you can mix that with water or put that in your smoothie. So what you're doing with all of that is you're having tons of nutrients on a daily basis to your body. So by the next cycle, by looking and observing and what your own body is doing and the feedback your body is giving you through your cycle, you can see the different effects. Something to look for is the change in the color of your period, and also the length, the period, the thickness, all that kind of stuff. So I hope you found this helpful. I'll stay on real quick to answer some questions if they're on this topic. But that is kind of like the 101 on having healthy uterine lining. So it's super important. Okay, someone was talking about her blood test came back with low iron, how to build this up. So cast iron pots is a great way to do that. So using cast iron for your skillets, for sauteing, for cooking in, it's a way to naturally build up more iron. Eating iron-rich foods. So if you eat meat, definitely go red meat, those types of things. If you're a vegetarian, make sure you're always eating a vitamin C source of food with your iron-based plant, dark green leafy vegetables. But also be aware not everyone can absorb plant iron as easily as others. I personally can't absorb any iron from plants, which was something I found out from trial and error and blood testing. But also a whole food based iron supplement is always awesome, especially on your period. Something to try. Alicia's asking, she's wanting to build up her uterine lining. Just watch this whole video. I just gave all the tips on that. Yes, the video will be saved and posted. Castor oil pack is where you take castor oil. And I keep this on my desk because I've been talking about these so much lately that I just keeping it here so I can always give little demos. And you take a cloth. This is the castor oil we carry. You know, you can get these at pharmacies. You could also use an old t-shirt. You drench this cloth in the castor oil. You don't want it dripping, but you want it completely drenched. You put it on your lower abdomen. You put a piece of plastic over the cloth, not on your skin. Don't freak out about that. And then put a heat pack and a towel on top, and you lay there for 20 minutes. That is a castor oil pack. You want to wash it off afterwards. It's very sticky. What causes a thinner lining if all your hormones have been monitored many times during your cycle? Diana, again, it's, I still would want to build up nutrients. Always just being as healthy as we can and getting as many nutrients as we can, as well as protein, and see what that does for you. I've heard that vitamin E is good. Is vitamin E good for you? Vitamin E is awesome. Again, I don't want to single out like a specific nutrient because they're all needed, but I wouldn't necessarily say vitamin E specifically, but all of those nutrients are going to be important for preparing for pregnancy. Okay, and I'm going to only answer questions that are specific to today's topic. If you want these other questions answered, just go ahead and send me a DM. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome, guys. Well, have a great day. I'm trying to keep these under 15 minutes so that I can upload them very easily to Instagram because they keep on shortening the length of time. They're telling me my videos are too long. The juice for drinking iron. So beets are really high in iron, as are dark leafy vegetables, but also make sure to put some type of vitamin C in there. So I would put an orange in that juice. So if I did like a beet, celery, cucumber, Swiss chard, just for example, and then put some orange in there, that would be a great juice that's high in iron. Can bone broth help to balance hormonal levels? Not that I know of. It's just really nutrient dense, so it would be a wonderful source of nutrients and very healing and supportive for the gut. I personally don't know of how that would help specifically with estrogen levels. Maybe someone else can speak to that who has experience with using bone broth in that way. But I love it for gut health and for nutrition. Tiffany, go ahead and just send me a direct message with your question. I'd be happy to answer that. What am I called on Instagram? My Instagram is Natural Fertility Info. Yep. Cool. Yep. I just talked about circulation at the beginning, so I'll repost this video and you can watch it. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, guys. You guys have a great day, and let me know if any of this was helpful. Put it in the comments. Any questions?